So we're going to now move on to the next section of our conference. These are the moments where we shine the light, very quick flashes of light, on particular developments that are happening within the city and our sector. We're going to start by shining the light with a number of tech companies that are working. And we've got Shake House, Smart History, and we're going to begin with Michael from Pocket Leap. And if you haven't downloaded the app for this conference, you should do, and this is the man responsible.
Oh, don't blame me.
Okay.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm your third speaker this morning that's came from Glasgow to talk, which is some sort of miracle, I think. Yeah, so Pocket Leap, we want it to be easy to make your own tourist information app. I'm biased. I've been making apps for the last 4 years as a business, and I think there's a lot of value in mobile. But why would you need a mobile app in the first place? And honestly, a lot of the time you don't actually. So a wee game of spot the difference here. On the left-hand side is facebook.com, or on the right-hand side is the Facebook app running on the iPhone. So the one on the left, you can publish, you can upload a photo, you can see the notification icon there. I've got a wee thing. And this one, it's the same. It's exactly the same. It's the same experience. So if you can do something on the web, then just stick to the web. There's no point in going to mobile, or is there? So why would we bother with apps? So for me, tourism by its nature is mobile. As you go about, you're out and about, and your primary device is going to be your mobile phone. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like totally chained to mine, to the point where I'm wearing one on my wrist. I've got my Apple Watch as well. I'd sooner leave the house without my wallet than without my phone. So Ben's coming to a pub later with me. Bear that in mind. Yeah, and offline's important. If you're relying solely on the web for getting your tourist information out there, then, I mean, you north of, well, I say this in Glasgow, I say north of Bearsden. I don't know what the equivalent is over here, but north of Glasgow, good luck getting a signal. That's why offline is critical to tourism. And if you are abroad, you put your data on, you can get hit with roaming charges. And Chris that I work with, he claims that it cost him £15 to check his emails in Canada. So you need to have offline data. And then that content itself, with a mobile app, we can actually offer a better experience. So you've got audio, video, and other media. So this is important in particular regards to accessibility. So with a video, you can have audio described, and audio, you can have audio described content. If you go around, even the museum here, a lot of the exhibits will have written text. That isn't good for people who don't speak the language, who can't hear it. So with mobile, there's new opportunities for how we engage people with the content that we have. And on a mobile app, we actually can get a better mapping experience. You know, wee blue dot, pan and zoom in. It's just better than the web. It's not that the web can't do it, it just doesn't do it as nicely as you can on a native mobile app. And this is a big one, I think, indoor position. So as you go about a place like the museum here, you can actually track where people are indoors using a technology called beacons, which you can only work through a mobile app. You actually need to have an app installed for beacons to work on iOS, on iPhone. So yeah, indoor positioning can improve the experience greatly. So if we go back to that accessibility point, one of the big things for people who have accessibility needs is to plan ahead. If you come to a place like this, you need to find a disabled toilet. Where is it? With beacons, you can actually signpost and direct people to where they need to get to. And then also, as you come up to exhibits, the exhibits could automatically come to life through the beacons, knowing that you're present at that and in the app, pushing the content to you. And again, I think with anything you do in your business, you always have to have a business case. You know, going spending money on an app, great. What's the actual benefit for your business? I think this is actually huge. Push notifications. So my email inbox is just crammed full of utter rubbish. It's abused so much, particularly by Sinden in the past couple of weeks, getting me organised for today. But yeah, my inbox, and then I've got my junk box, which is full of junk, my inbox, which is also full of junk, and try to trawl through that. My messaging platforms as well are now starting to get more and more marketing and stuff, and I try and keep that. I try and not let companies text me and stuff. I always text stops because it's annoying. Push notifications are an avenue that if I've got an app with a company and I've got that relationship where I've got their brand living on my phone, they can send me messages. So it works great. Instagram, like, it pulls me in every day when I see, you know, someone's got added something to their story. I'll open that up. So in this context, buy one, get one free offer. You can just push it out to people and you can get engagement. So I know that's something that Sinden's been doing today with the ETAG app. I got a lovely message this morning telling me to get ready for it. And yeah, we have the ETAG app here. So to make an app like that on our platform is only £200 per month. Previously, as I say, I've been making apps as a business for the last 4 years. Minimum project that we would take on is £20,000, which is just out of realms, out of reach for tourism businesses, or in fact, many businesses. But with Pocket Leap, we're driven to give that quality of a £20,000 app for a fraction of the cost. And if you'd like to find out more, please do come speak to us upstairs. We're just at the door as you come in. Thank you.
Hi everyone. My name is Margarita. I'm one of co-founders of Shake House, video advertising and production company. I'm not sure, should we press the button for the slide, I guess. Yeah. So, we specialize in video. Today we will not talk how video is important and how you should use it, because I think it comes without saying. Browsing any kind of social media platform, you cannot avoid videos, and it's just sometimes overwhelming. So the problem we're facing these days is if you start marketing your business with a video, how you stand out, and is the investment worthwhile? So before thinking, or when you start thinking about producing video for your business or organization, you should really spend the appropriate amount of time researching the formats of the videos. Just way too often we hear, we want a video, and as even the image can say 1,000 words, one video cannot serve all the purposes of your marketing goals. So either you need a brand film or an advert, explainer video, just social media snippets, or many others. This is before spending your time further and investing money, you should really think about that. The other important thing is as much time as you spend creating the video, you should spend appropriate amount of time thinking about distribution. It's a half and half investment to making a video and distributing. There is no magic formula to have an internet hit. It's like consistency, planning, and investment. Another thing I want to highlight is definitely make sure that video matches your branding. Sometimes you need to refresh your branding before creating the video, maybe because it's just people are so spoiled with impressive images, engaging websites. So yeah, if you're making this investment, you should really make sure that it matches all the rest of your branding in terms of tone, visuals, and yeah. So yeah, that's my part.
And another subject we want to touch quickly is basically storytelling. So now the term is overused these days, but it's basically at the heart of what we do, because filmmaking and videos were basically born from the desire to capture memories of people and places and create and share stories. And tourism is all about curiosity and wish for discoveries, escapism, exotism, relaxation. And in that aspect, it's the perfect sector to tell authentic stories. Like you have gold in front of you, basically. And I just got lost in my thoughts. And it's also like a great, you make people dream. You make their mind wander, and video can do that. And the tourism sector is also great you can use so many different sort of formats. But now, like with technology is great, and every year you have a new toy to communicate with. For instance, with formats, you have VR, AR, and platform. You have Instagram, Snapchat, and now you have LinkedIn as well. So many opportunities, and it can be the appeal of technology and different mediums is really tempting, but it can be quite distracting. And you have to remember to focus on what really matters, which is an engaging narrative. You have to tell something that people want to hear, want to see, and do that by pleasing visuals, because it's the best way to catch someone's audience, someone's attention, and also be memorable in the long term. That's fine, I'll do without the water. Now, one thing we all very often advise if you want to keep a continuous engagement from your audience is to forget about the one long video that does everything. Think more but shorter. It doesn't mean creating more videos, but basically think about TV series, web series. I mean, who watches Netflix here? Who binge watching TV series? Everyone does. And you should take the same approach to your video marketing strategy, basically. Think of a longer narrative that you can slice in smaller pieces. And that's it, really. Just think of anything you would like to watch from brands you use, from brands you like. So when you create something for yourself, first do something you would like to watch and make sure it's going to be useful or relatable or entertaining, simply put that way. Because if it's not that, your audience is going to get bored and they're going to stop watching whatever you have to offer to them. So to finish, because I see I'm running out of time, if you're really passionate about what you're doing, try to communicate through video. If you don't know where to start, think of brand film to start with, basically, because consuming habits are changing and people are becoming more responsible and aware of what they buy. They want to know who you are, who's behind the name, what do you believe in, what's your ethos. And just remember, everyone likes a good story. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Can you hear me at the back? Yeah. Excellent, fantastic. Well, my name's Bess Rhodes. I'm a historian working for Smart History. So we specialise in applying new technology to history and heritage. And we actually grew out of a collaboration based at the University of St Andrews between historians, art historians, archaeologists, and computer scientists. And one of our first projects was reconstructing St Andrews Cathedral, which is now a ruin. You see here our digital reconstruction of what we thought it looked like in about 1318. Since then, we've worked on projects across many parts of Europe, in South America, in the Caribbean, and also in India. But one of our most recent projects concerns Edinburgh. We recently have been working on a digital reconstruction of what we think Edinburgh looked like in 1544. Why choose 1544, though? It's actually a very eventful year for the city. That year, Henry VIII sent a massive English army, one of the largest English armies, to attack Scotland. Sends a vast army north to punish Edinburgh in Henry's views. He orders them to burn the city, leaving it so razed and defaced as there may remain forever a perpetual memory of the vengeance of God. Lovely chap, Henry. Now, fortunately, Edinburgh survived, but it was severely damaged, and it was a major moment in the borough's identity. A lot of virtually all contemporary Edinburgh chroniclers comment on this, and it's still being talked about even 100 years later. So it was a big moment in Edinburgh's history. But something good did actually come out of that awful year, and that was this map. It's one of the earliest drawings of Edinburgh that have survived. It was made by an English military engineer called Richard Lee, who was with the attacking English forces, who you see represented here in the front. And we use this as our inspiration and a starting point to create a reconstruction of what we think Edinburgh looked like in the 1540s. We also drew on written sources, we also drew on archaeological records, and also on later map images. And actually the underlay where we located our buildings was actually based on slightly later 18th century map data. So having done a very extensive research process, which to be honest, we spent a number of months on, you could have spent decades on if you chose to, we set about building the model. And we actually built it using gaming technology. We actually built it in Unreal, the gaming engine Unreal 4. So we've got this fantastic reconstruction of what we think Edinburgh looked like in the 1540s. But how do you go about exploring that? We have a website, which Edinburgh 1544, which you can explore. We also put a number of online videos up, which actually had a great success with people engaging with that, over 100,000 views. We also produced, though, an Edinburgh 1544 app for mobiles. And our app, you can just use normally on your screen on the mobiles, but it also has the possibility of going into a fully virtual reality mode, suitable for use either with very, very simple basic headsets like Google Cardboard, or also slightly more up-to-date ones like Google Daydream. And this provides you with sort of a virtual reality experience for some key sites in the city. Now, we believe by providing reconstruction on mobile devices, we're actually doing something which is quite important. We're enabling people to connect the past and the present, and we're enabling them to see the historic borough at the same time as they're out and about in the modern city. So we're bringing historic interpretation out of the museums and into the mobiles on people's pockets. So, Edinburgh 1544 is not the end of the story. We want to develop the Edinburgh 1544 resources further, but we're also moving out to other Scottish boroughs. This is a still from reconstruction of St Andrews in 1559 that we're currently working on, and we're also currently working on projects in Perth. And what we want to do is to use the latest technology to raise awareness to the widest possible audiences of the amazing history that our wonderful nation has to offer. Thank you very much.
You may be thinking, wow, there's a lot there. And this is what we try to do. With each of these conferences, we try to give you bite-sized chunks that might inspire, stimulate some thoughts. And our speakers are all available to have conversations, should you wish to have them, in the break or during the lunchtime. And you may be also thinking, what links all of this together? When I was listening to them all, I'm looking at that idea of it's about storytelling. You mentioned the word storytelling. The app developments, videos, the history, they're all about exploration and discovery and taking those stories out into the world. And I say storytelling as well because at the minute we've got our Storytelling Festival on, which is being broadcast live on Facebook Live. Technology as well is immersive now, and it's all around us, and everybody's making use of it. So have a chance to speak to our speakers in the break and at lunchtime, okay?